pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Southborough Recreation Commission will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Southborough's website. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch or participate in the meeting may do so in the following manner by finding the meeting information at the town website. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite our best efforts, we will post on Southborough's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive recording of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. So let's see, I emailed you guys the meeting minutes and I just re-forwarded them around as well. So you have them top of your inbox. Did you guys get a chance to read that, or can you take a minute and look through those so we can approve those?
That was the second time you sent them, right? You had sent them previously.
Yeah, it was the second time. Yep.
All right,
Yep.
I read it the first time. If they haven't changed, then I'm okay.
Nothing's changed.
Okay,
All right.
To approve the minutes.
Okay.
second,
Okay. And then, so we need a roll call vote as well. So Nixon or Hanson, yes.
Dumont, yes.
Nixon, yes.
Awesome. So then we can just jump into the director's report. So general updates then, Tim?
Yeah. So it's just kind of day by day. We're still, relatively quiet outside of some construction stuff we got going on, which we'll dive into. Calls are coming in mainly around our one soccer camp for Best, but also facility usage, what's open, what's available, proper usage, what they need, yada, yada, yada. So nothing too crazy. The girls have been doing great. Denise has been helping out some other departments and other committees, doing some minute work for them. And Alex is dealing with pretty much the public when they come through on email, and our calls are being forwarded to her and stuff like that at home. So, we're staying as busy as we can in that regard. Talking to the schools on a weekly basis, pretty much, to get a sense from them when we may expect some news so we can start planning for the fall. Fingers crossed on that. Still have no real any real insight on what that's going to look like. So we're just going to continue to stay in touch with them and kind of have everybody in our back pocket ready to go, so that hopefully when we get a green light of some sort, we can kind of jump on it quickly and get rolling on that. Our buildings in town are going to start the reopening process on July 13th. Our building is going to remain appointment only. So starting July 13th, if the public wants to come in, they give us a call or they shoot us an email, we'll set up a time and they will come in. They'll sign into the building just for contact tracing reasons. If for some reason, hopefully not, we have to get to that point. But there's a whole process in place from the town to ensure that everyone's safe as possible. John Parent was down today taking measurements for plexiglass and things of that nature. So staff will be protected and whatnot. But July 13th is when folks can start coming in. But all the business we've been doing has been able to be handled over the phone or online. So I don't really foresee many people coming in. That's really kind of the general update. Nothing's really changed, in the office wise. Do you want me to just kind of run down everything, Jen? Yeah. All right. So phase 3 was announced over the weekend, but the guidelines didn't come out until about 4 hours ago from the state. So kind of skimmed through them, haven't really dove into them deeply as it kind of pertains to the most important stuff with us, youth sports and groups and users and things of that nature. What I did see is, it's mainly, practice phase 2, continue to be diligent on phase 2, but it kind of addresses more directly the adult leagues and adds some classifications to activities of what are low risk, high risk, moderate, things of that nature. So I communicated with baseball right away just to make them aware of it. They were already on top of it. They've been, above all the other groups, they've really been superb and staying on top of stuff. So I thank them for that. But we're going to dive into it tomorrow, or at least I will. We'll put together our town release as we've been doing the last couple phases, and then we'll get that out by end of the day tomorrow. There won't be many changes again as it comes to the distancing and what's allowed. The only last couple things that are scheduled to open are the outdoor basketball courts, which are included in the guidelines, and the volleyball court. We can put the net back up on that. But like I said, not much has changed. So that'd be good though. Step in the right direction. There's some guidelines on tournaments and games and scrimmages and things of that nature, but pretty much everything that was in it is what we expected it to be. So there were no curveballs. So it'll be good in that regard. We're not going to be having to deal with anything significant. We are, I'll get into the specifics of it, but we are taking a lot of field requests, facility requests. Part of that process is that we are requesting individuals to submit a plan on COVID and how they're going to address it with their group, with their adult league, with their kids league, youth groups, things of that nature. Everyone's complied. No one's questioned it. We've had one issue with one group that we're working with now, but it's made very clear if they don't, comply, they're not going to be allowed. And, that's with the support of town administration and Board of Health. So that's the only issue I see that we're running into right now is a kind of an outlier group here and there that isn't really taking it somewhat serious or is really struggling to grasp, I guess, what's needed. But again, phase 3 will be released tomorrow night if all goes well to the public, and I'll send it to everybody on the commission prior to that. Just going through my notes. So projects in progress and just kind of a general facility update as well. So the biggest project right now is the Petrie, as you know, should be done this week. I went down this morning and when I left this afternoon, looks to be just about fully graded. Everything is buried. All the layers of soils and sands and everything they need are on top. So it looks like all that's left is the sod. So should be done by the end of the week, project wise. And then the fences will go up to protect it from the public, so that we don't have any premature usage on it to destroy the sod. That will be at minimum 8 weeks, which would put us for opening first or second week of September. So pretty good. As Jen and Don, as you guys know, there was some issues with finding the water main. That was the biggest issue that we did run into, and it's really nobody's fault. We were working off of plans from the 90s, and there's been a lot of work down there since then. So we were having issues finding the water main. So we had to kind of flip around a big piece of the design with the irrigation system, which was an easy flip on the part of the contractor. It was just finding that water line and tying in and things of that nature. So we're dealing still with that piece of the project, financial piece of it and everything like that. It's not settled yet. We're still working on outlets to get that paid and whatnot. So as soon as that's buttoned up, I will let everybody know. But I'm pretty hopeful we're going to stay on our budget from the way it's looking right now. So fingers crossed on that. The townhouse playground starts tomorrow. The truck is scheduled for delivery of all the equipment at 9 a.m. So I'll be down there with the crew from Ultiplay Playgrounds and DPW to receive that. We'll offload it. It's not a lot of stuff, as you guys know. Ultiplay is going to dig a couple holes to get a couple starter posts in to the 3 features really, and then they will be back on site Thursday along with a crew from DPW to do the entire build in the day, as well as kind of carve out that path for the ADA surfacing that we're putting in. So if all goes to plan, which it really looks like it's going to, the build will probably be done by the end of this week, which is just great. It's really amazing if you think about it. And then we have a playground inspection scheduled for next Tuesday, barring anything crazy happening. So middle of next week is where we are hopeful that we can open it to the public. So as soon as we get that green light from the inspection, we'll be good to go on that. So I think it's great. I mean, building a playground and having it open within 2 weeks is pretty impressive. So I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to get it done, just being such a small playground.
Fast turnaround even on the order of equipment.
Yeah.
Previous playgrounds, we've waited months for the equipment, so that's awesome.
Yeah. I think they were surprised too with how quickly the warehouse kind of got it going. I think warehouse.
Not a lot of playgrounds being built right now.
That's it. We were out with DigSafe last week, and he was saying that most of his crew is just spreading mulch and fiber and doing cleanups right now. So they're sending their crews out a lot to help with installs and stuff. So, but really good. It's going to be great. It'd be a great thing for the community. It was a fun little project. So I'm looking forward to that kind of coming along. So lighting for Mooney and Neary, we're meeting. It should be this week. We're just waiting on responses to confirm some times with the planning department on the lighting plans. Been talking to Art a lot because of the Petrie, but we've been going back and forth with the lighting as well. And their package, he said, is pretty much done. They just have some questions that they want to run by Karina before we submit it officially. That submittal is the end of next week. So we will get into the office with everybody at the same table. I think we're going to be meeting in person, spread out, just so that everyone's looking at the same plans and we can make sure that everyone's on the same page. So we are due to go in front of the planning board on August 10th is our date to seek approval to get things rolling. So mark your calendars. It's going to be a fun one. We'll see how the meeting goes this week, but Justin and Art have really been hauling on it. And the ironic thing is all the issues with DePetrie has actually helped us because we're getting a better picture of where everything is. So when it comes to the build of that, we're overly confident on the Neary side of things on where we can put our lights and things of that nature. So I'm excited to get that rolling. It's coming off the tail of these two projects. So it's kind of nice to, be checking off the list pretty rapidly, hopefully. So we won't get ahead of ourselves, but August 10th is the next big date. So again, mark your calendars. I've made parties who have been very involved aware already. So we can probably expect some support coming from the public that night. And I'm sure we'll build up a little more as we get closer. And then just some general stuff.
I was just on that one there, Tim. So
yeah.
From our conversation with town council, I believe if the package has everything it needs and it goes to planning, it should be approved, yes. Right? So it's not do they agree or not? It's did we follow the legal requirements or the bylaws and how we're going to design it. So I think this is great. So it basically means it should go through in August without a problem.
Yeah, barring again any like crazy surprise that we may get from them this week. Going through the A to Z list of the package. I'm in the same boat. If we have everything that they've requested, especially the extra finances that we've thrown into this and extra work, they should say yes. So we'll see. But I'll shoot you all an update after that meeting this week and let you know how that went. A couple general notes of the playgrounds in town. I'm not sure if we talked about it last go around, but the playgrounds are, just for the public's knowledge, the playgrounds are being washed throughout the month, each month. They're being power washed by DPW. So just an effort and kind of an extra layer to keep them as clean as possible for the public. So they'll be out there doing that regularly. I know Northborough is doing it as well. So when it gets to the schools, at least they'll know that the school system playgrounds are being cleaned. And then the Arts Center was slated to be open last week after all the playground fiber was spread. They just started doing that this afternoon. So they got half of it done. So they should be back tomorrow to finish. So the Art Center playground will be reopened end of day tomorrow, fingers crossed, again, if they get down there, which they should. There's not a lot left to do. It was just a ton of mulch that we needed, so it was taking a little while to spread. So that would be the last thing kind of on the list when it comes to playgrounds, but that will be open tomorrow, hopefully. What's next? I'm gonna, do you mind if I just jump a little bit,
Sure,
Jen?
that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, so field rental, I just want to give you an update. So this is as expected. Been a pretty steady flow of income, not so much to our revolving account, but to the other accounts when it comes to the grass field maintenance funds and 9/11. So they're coming in quick now that the reopening was underway, and once we announced, the usual suspects came out and put in their request, which was good. Mainly baseball, as you know, they're pretty much using the entire Finn complex, just about every field, staying though over there, which is kind of nice. So they're contained. They got 109 kids throughout the week. So they got a good group going. Northborough, Southborough lacrosse has put in their requests. They start tomorrow night. So they go through the next 2 months for summer. We got a couple men's soccer leagues that are returning from last summer that are there on the weekends. They're scheduled out through August. We got a new group, Central Lacrosse, which I believe they're out of Worcester. A pretty substantial rental of Lundblad. They were actually users of St. Mark's, but St. Mark's is not opening their fields until I believe the end of this month. So they got in touch with us, seeing if we'd be willing to take them on. So I said, sure, send them over, and we worked it out. So they are using Lundblad pretty heavily throughout the next month and a half. So
Anything
been
you
good.
get out of that field is gravy.
Say that again.
Anything you can get out of that field is gravy.
Exactly. So we have that. So we actually have that, and then there's a group of Algonquin graduates who are doing a small soccer summer clinic camp like program. They wanted that field as well, so we put them there. So we're getting $4 or $5 grand out of just those two groups, which is really good, and a good relationship for the future. Hopefully, St. Mark's has been great working with them on this reopening. Same with Fay. I've been talking to them weekly, just so that kind of we're all on the same page. And I think this is an outcome of that, of them being able to pass off some of their use. So, it's much appreciated. And again, they've been really easy to work with. So it's really been a win-win for everybody, especially to keep them in town. What else? Yeah. So we have about $6 grand processed and paid to date, and we have just over 14,000 that is outstanding. So we're going to bring in a pretty good chunk to kind of replenish those accounts for maintenance, which is really, really good. So I'm happy about that. Softball is starting registration for the fall. Northborough, Southborough girls. I know we were excited to have them last year, and then Triple E hit, and then it didn't really come to fruition. DPW is going to be putting in a good amount of work down at Trottier at that far field, that softball field, and that's going to be Northborough Southborough's home field. So they are very excited about that. So we're going to get a lot of use out of that field. We'll get some income from that group as well, which will be an added on everything else. So we're already looking through the fall. So it's good. And then fall soccer as well. They're already starting to get their schedules together. They reached out to let us know that they're going to start planning. I said, please do, earlier the better, just so that we can get things rolling. Were you going to say something, Jen?
Is that the softball field? Is that the one like between Neary and Trottier?
On the other side of the track.
That's the one beyond the track.
Oh, beyond the track. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. So the reason for that one is the one at Neary would disrupt soccer.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
with the outfield. So it's needed work. It's needed to get back. I think back to business for a while, at least the last year since I've been here.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
Today's my 1 year, by the way. Happy 1 year to me.
Hey, congratulations.
Longest year of your life.
longest 4 months of my life. All right. Okay, so I think the biggest conversation we need to have is movies and concerts. So movies, I don't see any issues with. We talked to the chief and we talked to Board of Health. outdoor movies in their traditional sense, everybody's comfortable with. So we rescheduled out our summer movie series to the Tuesdays in August, starting the first Tuesday of August. So we were waiting on to see what would come of this phase, if there's going to be any restrictions. The only one that we see potentially that could affect us is it's no more than 100 people gathering in an outdoor gathering of a certain field size. But we're thinking about moving it. Well, we're going to move it to Neary where town meeting was. So we have a pretty vast field out there. So we don't see any issues with that.
Right, someone must have already done the math for that field.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost over 200 people there for town meeting. So, we're finding that, and we're pretty much gonna do the same setup. We're gonna, work with DPW and we'll probably be out there too, marking out spots and lanes to walk and things of that nature. So that'll be really good. I think a really good thing that we can present out. The issue is concerts. And I was waiting again on this phase before I sent out the contracts. We had a full lineup. I reached out to a bunch of them. We worked it out that we were going to bring them all back and shove them all in August. But the guidelines that came out today are making that difficult, of course. So the issue is, I'm sorry, I just got to bring it up in front of me. So it was the usual stuff that we thought of when it came to guidelines for social distancing and things of that nature. Kind of like what I just said, there was that idea of only 100 people on site. But the thing that was interesting is they suggest against singing because of the people projecting their voices and particles of that nature. Yeah, singing and brass and wind instruments are discouraged, is what it says. And so if we have performances that involve singing, the issue is that we need to space out the performers 10 feet from one another. And I want you to keep in mind the stage down at Neary, which I'm pretty sure is 10 feet wide.
I was gonna say like 15 feet.
Exactly. 10 feet in between performers. What was that?
Well, yeah, big plexiglass cage for each one, right?
Pretty much. Well, it's that, and if they can't maintain the 10 feet, if you're singing, they have to sing with a mask on, which just it's just working against life right now. So what in the way we would set it up, we'd have to have 10 feet between performers, but on top of that, we would have to have, then if someone's singing without a mask, we'd have to have 25 feet from the front of the stage performer to the front of the audience. So we'd have to push everybody out 20 feet, which is the road. So it's, I talked to some of the people in town, the players, emergency management wise, and I talked to other people in surrounding towns, and they're calling it for the summer. That's just and I agree. I get it. It's kind of ridiculous, is my professional opinion. But
How many people do you usually get at those things?
It varies. I mean, when I came in, I haven't seen every single one. I worked one of them last year, and it was the rescheduled one from a rain date. So we maybe had 25, 30 people. Talking to youth and family when it was in its height, they said, easily 100, if not more. But also packed like sardines on that grass.
What if you, just to spitball with you, what if you used Woodward and you put the stage in the parking lot of the safety building and you put the people on the field?
Well, we would still need to space out the performers, right? 10 feet.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So it was a good thought. No, it's a good thought. It's the spacing of the performers that is getting me. And
you need
I don't want someone singing like this the whole time, so you have no idea what they're saying. So these are my dogs, and they're very needy right now. Come on, guys. So I don't see a solution for it, and I don't want to. And the other piece too is, honestly, it would be a good financial savings to take that one away, focus on the movies. We're talking like $3 or $4 grand at the end of things.
I guess also if we've got movies being scheduled and then you're trying to schedule a second event, like that might just be a lot to cram in, and we might not get as much attendance anyways.
Mhm.
versus having the couple movies, it's something for people to go do.
Yeah.
And having groups that far apart is really not functional, I wouldn't think, for them.
Yeah. It's the 25 feet from the stage too. I mean, that's a massive gap.
Right.
So you can't win. You just can't win. So, so my recommendation is that I
Singing, we
think,
know the singing. I mean, there's actually scientific evidence that the singing is a, you know, conductor of the, you know, you hear about the choir in Washington State where like 97% of the people got sick. Like it's,
Yeah.
of all the things, you know, that one I can kind of, you can't argue with that one too much.
yeah, I just don't see a way we can make it functionally work for the public. So
Doesn't,
are we all in agreement of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
also the event where all the kids were running around like crazy people. So
Yeah.
trying to contain them also won't be easy. So,
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll focus on movies. We'll push that. We've had the marketing materials done for a little while now, just so we were waiting on the space to be released. So we'll get that out this week. So you'll start seeing that in your inbox and Facebook and all that good stuff. Other than that, the only thing we're waiting on is still guidelines that are going to dictate summer nights, Heritage Day, the gobble wobble, things like that. So, you know, I want to stay positive. I'll continue to stay positive. We'll just keep seeing. I believe there's something to do with mass gatherings of that nature and community events. I believe I saw it briefly. So I just need to dive into it just because it came out this afternoon. So hopefully we'll get a little more guidance on that. But we're going to stay plugged in and, you know, stay vigilant, as they're saying, with everything, and just kind of address it as it comes. So that's all I had. I don't know if I missed anything.
no, that was the majority of the list. The one other thing that we wanted to talk about was the master plan committee.
Right.
And Kristen's not here and she's not responding to my texts, but so I believe is the planning board voted recreation off the master planning committee because we hadn't been showing up. So I guess Dave was unable to make it to them. And I haven't been able to catch up with him either. But the hope was that I actually spoke to Kristen and she said she would be willing to go and to attend those meetings. So I don't know if it's right to vote her in with her not here, but I also didn't know if Tim, I know you were reaching out to see if we could get our spot back. I don't know if you heard from them.
I was waiting to hear from the chair of the master plan committee. I know she was on vacation, so
Okay.
I have not received a response from her. I'm on it by default.
Okay.
So, you know, they're on my calendar now. I wasn't attending admittedly because I thought Dave was attending. So they're on my calendar now, and I'll you know, if need be, if it comes down to it and I got to do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
But I'm just waiting to hear back from her on what that process would look like, if it's possible to get our seat back, which hopefully it will be, because I think it's necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of rude to vote us out without sort of, you know, asking.
Yeah, so I think they did reach out to Dave Candela, but I don't know if they heard back from him or not in the timely manner that they wanted. So yeah, then they did vote us out.
Petty.
So I guess I don't know, Tim, you think it's fine if we vote to appoint Kristen? Then
If you guys are
pending whatever
comfortable with
they
that.
do? Okay.
Yeah,
I know Kristen's not here, but
Yeah.
I did text her. She did say she'd be willing to do it. So
Okay. I was
I
gonna
guess
say, as
I
long as you
would
had the
want to make
conversation.
a motion to nominate Kristen Lavalde to be our representative on the master plan committee, pending them reappointing us.
so move.
All right. And then a roll call vote.
Dumont, yes.
Nixon, yes.
Hanson, yes. Okay. So then I think, does anyone else have anything that they wanted to raise?
I just want to make, I'm going to try to take a little time off after, the playground's done. So as soon as that's done, I had some carryover from last year that I want to burn for August and the school year. Kind of works its way up. Oh, one other piece of that with looking ahead at the fall, made the decision not to put out a brochure just because of a printed brochure because of the uncertainty of things. So what we're going to be doing is doing a digital one that will be designed. You know, the company that helped us will help us design the digital one. Much less money, but I'll have all active links of all the programs or whatever it is. So we're going to be moving forward. There'll be a brochure, but it just won't be printed. We may get a handful to put at the library and senior center and stuff like that. But
Yeah, given the feedback and the response on the new website, I think that's not even an issue at this point. I think you've got a place where digital content can, be leveraged appropriately and connected.
Yeah, so it'll be good. So that just popped in my head. So, but yeah, so probably a week after next, I'll be offline for at least a week.
Okay. Tim, do you know where you fall on timing wise on the agenda, August 10th?
I don't. I have not seen it. Well, I requested like a month ago to be put on it. So Sarah in the office there said she would put me on it tentatively. So we'll wait to see when that gets put out.
Okay.
Hopefully up top.
Yeah. I'll just post for that same meeting so we can all go and not have any problems as well. And then the last thing would be to schedule our next. Sorry.
Will that one be a virtual? It just so happens that week I'm away.
It will be virtual. Yep.
All right, good. Then that's fine.
Yep. And then just looking to schedule our next meeting. Do we want it to be? So if this happens on August 10th, do we want it to be like the week after, or?
Do we want to meet as a group before that meeting to debrief it quickly?
Yeah, actually we could.
The week before? Is that after your vacation is next week, Tim, right? So.
No, I literally meant before that meeting. So like
August
10th.
Yeah. You mean?
You mean the 10th earlier that night?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Just so
do you know what time? Do they normally start at 7:30?
In that range, probably if we're going to meet at 6.
Is there enough Zooms?
Well, so yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, maybe we check with Tom, maybe first.
Yeah,
The worst case, if we want to do, what's that? Is that a Tuesday? I believe it's a Tuesday.
I will look.
Yeah.
It is a Monday.
Monday.
I was just looking to see if, so actually they've already got it scheduled because we usually compete for it. It looks like it starts at 7:00.
Okay.
So we should be able to do, if we want to do like a 6:30 to touch base.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. And then do we want us so then also for our regular meeting, do we want to meet like the week after for our full commission meeting or the week before?
Well, hopefully the 10th will result in good news and we'll have further steps. So that may be smart, just,
The week after.
Even be the only thing on the agenda, just to hopefully update on where we're at and how it's going to go and what the outlook is going to be.
Okay. So then we'll do Monday, August 17th.
Okay.
And then schedule the other one, right before planning. Monday, August 10th. 6:30. Yep, that works. I'll send you guys those invites.
What was the second one, Jen? I'm just fixing these as I go.
Sorry,
7th.
Monday, August 10th at 6:30, we will meet.
I
And
got
then at
that.
7 is planning.
Yep.
And then Monday, August 17th at 7:30, we'll meet most likely to talk about how to move forward with the lights.
Okay, Monday, August 17th. Okay, I got it.
Okay. All right, any other business anyone wanted to raise?
Nope.
Good.
All right.
40
so-
minutes, new record.
That's right.
There you go.
Shorter and
Someone want
shorter.
to make a motion to close it?
So move.
Second.
Sounds good.
Everybody, oh,
Cool. You too. It's good to see you guys.
okay, take care.
Awesome.
Stay
Bye,
safe.
guys. Good night.